There is a phone app nobody talks about anymore. It's so good, it's almost never updated. It's the app with one of the best UX and UI designs of all time. The user experience is great, very useful, everybody requires this app. Highly usable, no manual needed, grandma and her grandchildren can use it. Super findable, the UI has it all at the tip of your fingers. Extremely credible, when similar apps fail, you open it. Somewhat desirable, it's the reason you bought the smartphone in the first place. Remarkably accessible, no one was left behind. Deeply valuable, you can never delete this app. And the user interface is every designer's dream, clear, it's so clear, you don't notice it. Concise, every element is where it should be, no extras, no fancy adornments. Familiar, the only app my dad knew how to use on his first smartphone. Responsive, no loading spinners, fast, you feel every interaction. Consistent, you can buy a new phone or change to another operative system, and still use it as nothing has happened. Efficient, fulfills the function of an interface, connects you to the main device. It's one of the most used apps in smartphones, but every time new smartphones are presented every year, no one says a word. Yet the iPhone product page doesn't mention anything about it. Meet the phone app. You may guess at this point, the best app in your smartphone is the phone app. No, not the phone app. Two different things. It may sound ridiculous, but we have forgotten that the main function of a smartphone is the telephone function. The phone app works only as an interface to access the telephone, the duplex device that connects to a dedicated network, transform voice to electric signals, and the electric signals to sound again, within a bidirectional and simultaneous transmission to the other end. The interface is very old and it has become universal and standard. Most of its elements have been established in physical telephones since the 1930s. But in terms of the user experience, the phone app is like good music in a film, it's not the protagonist, it's the support for a higher and final goal. You use the phone app to make and receive telephone calls. That's it. Like the first rule of the Fight Club, you don't talk about it. The main experience for the user is the use of the telephone. Nothing is going to give the user the opportunity to contact a loved one, a family member, a friend, with the richness of the human voice and the reliance on proven technology. There have been improvements and alternatives. Most messaging apps like WhatsApp now have phone calls over the internet. You can switch from a phone call to a video call in the same phone app. Or the phone app may offer to record your calls very soon. But when all the messaging apps or similar fail, you still open the phone app. Aesthetically, the app left the skeuomorphism and got into the flat design. But essentially, the phone app remains the same. In an era where we see interfaces everywhere, it is interesting to have an app that does what it needs to do while its UI remains in oblivion. The interface is not always the main protagonist in the user experience. When you design the door for a family home, nobody is going to stop to look at your door design, no matter how beautiful. Family, the best experience, is inside, waiting for the user to go through. Nobody wants to get in the way.